Back in 1965, Bob Dylan wrote a song that was, well, so much more than a protest. You could almost call it a prophecy. Today, we're going to dig into It's All Right, Ma, I'm Only Bleeding, not as some dusty old record, but as this incredibly dense, furious poem that feels like it was written about the world we're living in right now. This world of spectacle, of corrupted words, and that constant search for what's actually true in all the noise.
The song kicks off with this line, and right away it just throws you completely off balance. Darkness at the break of noon. I mean, it's an image of total contradiction, right? A world turned completely upside down, where the most basic truths, like, light at midday, just can't be trusted anymore. This tells you from the jump, this isn't some simple song about a specific event. No, this is serious poetry, and it's setting a deeply unsettling stage for a much, much deeper critique. And that stage is really being set for the song's central idea, its thesis, if you will, that our whole society is suffering from a sickness. But the disease isn't just a bad policy or a single politician. The disease is language itself. See, Dylan isn't just mad about what people are doing. He's dissecting the actual words they use to justify it. He's listening to the slogans, the cliches, the big moral statements, and he's basically saying they've been totally hollowed out. They've been turned from tools that create meaning into weapons of control and confusion. So how does he prove this? How does he build his case? Well, it's not with a normal story. It's with this relentless, almost machine gun rhythm of short, sharp judgments that just land one after another like a chain of undeniable verdicts. Take a line like this. There's no backstory, no context, nothing. It's just a raw, brutal snapshot of casual cruelty, of words being used as weapons. And every single line in the song feels like its own self-contained indictment. And they just keep on coming, one after the other. He writes things like, disillusioned words like bullets bark, and human gods aim for their mark. The sheer pileup of these cynical truths creates this overwhelming feeling that the entire system, from the words we use to the leaders we follow, has completely failed. This line right here is a perfect example of what he's doing. He takes a cliche everyone knows, money talks, and he twists it, makes it ugly and violent. The song's rhythm just pounds you with these truths over and over, until you feel the full weight of his diagnosis. It's not really an argument. It's more like he's ripping the curtain back on a reality that's been corrupted. And this is where it gets kinda spooky, because his critique of wasted words from all the way back in 1965 connects so directly to our political world today. In fact, Dylan gives us the perfect metaphor to understand exactly what's going on. The hollow horn. Just think about that image. It's an instrument that makes a huge, impressive sound, but it's empty inside. It plays wasted words, language that sounds so powerful, so certain, so important, but is totally devoid of any real meaning or truth. And that is the song's central warning to all of us. Now, this framework he builds gives us this incredible lens to analyze modern rhetoric. For instance, if you think about the rhetorical style of a figure like Donald Trump, it relies so heavily on these very techniques. The advertising signs from the song, those become these simple, repeatable branding phrases. Human gods aiming for their mark, well, that echoes in the kind of absolutist claims that just don't allow for any nuance. And the hollow horn, that's the perfect description for performative certainty, projecting total confidence to overwhelm any doubt, regardless of the substance. The song really gives us the tools to see the machinery behind the message. Okay, so the song diagnoses this huge problem, but it doesn't just leave us there feeling hopeless. It actually fights back. The resistance is literally built into the structure of the poem itself. This brings up a really important question, right? If slogans and absolute certainty are the weapons of that hollow horn, then what's the alternative? What does the song itself offer up as a solution? And here's the crazy part. The answer is a paradox. The song's solution is to reject the whole idea of a simple solution. It tells you straight up that there's no easy answer, no slogan, no single idea that's going to make everything okay. It completely denies you the very certainty that all that hollow rhetoric needs to work in the first place. So the poem's real power is its instability, its refusal to give you a neat little bow at the end. It doesn't hand you a new, better slogan to fight the old ones. Instead, what it offers is a mindset, a way of thinking. It offers a state of critical uncertainty that makes you fundamentally immune to the appeal of those simplistic, absolute claims. So what's the big takeaway here? When you boil it all down, what's the single most urgent tension this song points out for us, living in the media world we live in today? It's this battle right here. On one side, you have the hollow horn, all the language of branding, slogans, and performative certainty that's designed to shut down thought. And on the other side, you have the language of this poem, which is difficult and contradictory and uncertain, and it forces you to actually think for yourself. This is the struggle for meaning that is playing out all around us every single day. And then, after all that rage, all the noise of the verdicts and the warnings, the song just quiets down and ends with this incredibly vulnerable human line. It's not some triumphant shout. It's not a new slogan. It's just a sigh. And maybe what Dylan is telling us is that in a world completely saturated with the empty noise of that hollow horn, maybe the most honest, the most resilient, and the most truthful response isn't to shout back, but to simply take a breath, acknowledge the madness, and just keep going.